Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be bringing to you, obviously, my predictions for week 18. So, stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean, and if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. Hit it, and if you like it, hit that like button. And if you want to comment on what my predictions are useless as they can be, let me know. Let me know what your predictions are too as well, because a couple of you get them right. So might as well crack in, because there's a lot of games on this week. One game has been postponed, that's the Seattle Colorado game. So unfortunately that one, because that was going to be quite an easy one, because I think Seattle would have won that one. But anyway, I will start on. So the first one is Cincinnati against Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew haven't won a game in their last four at home, as far as I'm aware, in their last four, sorry. And Columbus Crew haven't won a game in their last four away from home. So this is going to be a tricky one, because Columbus Crew aren't doing all that well. They are still fourth in the league, but in their last three games in all competitions as well, doesn't only as the one, they drew one and lost two. So they're coming up against the Cincinnati team, who are no strangers to beating teams in these situations. And I'm looking at the odds here too as well, and Columbus Crew is far and away the favourites to win this game. I'm not 100% sure, and Columbus Crew are still vulnerable to getting beat. They got beat by Montreal away from home, which isn't a good result. And they drew against Columbus, and then they drew against Toronto. So their last three games were their last three, and now this game's going to be away as well. So there's 4 games on the trot against a team who are, as I said, no strangers in beating the higher teams, so the teams that they shouldn't be beaten for sure. So saying that, it is going to be a good one, but I'm not 100% sure which way this game could go. You do think logically Columbus Crew should have the win in this game, but again, they're coming up against a very good team, a very average team, a good team, not a brilliant team. So saying that, I could actually go for like a 2-1 to Columbus Crew. I don't think they're going to have it easy, but I do think they're going to win this game 2-1. Next one is Montreal against New England Revolution. Montreal actually are strange so far. They've won their last game in the last 6, which was against Columbus Crew, and then they got beat by Montreal. They got beat by Philadelphia, because they're Montreal. They beat themselves basically. And then Chicago Fire drew them, and then Red Bull, New England, and Philadelphia all got beaten quite badly. They're coming up against a New England team who got beat by New York during the week. They beat New York, and when I always keep saying, if you follow me on Twitter, link below, I always keep saying New York City, I always say they have a bogey team, and that's New England, but when I always go New England lose, and New York win, it makes me look at the Angels. Then in the last game, I said New England should get beaten this one, because my luck's bound to turn, and then won. So they're coming up against a Montreal team who they could get beat. The bookies say that New England are the favourites in this one, and I think I may agree on this one. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win, another away win for 2-1, so New England. Next one is Orlando against New York City. The rivalry that MLS created just because they started at the same time. Bookies say this is going to be a tricky one, because the two teams are not really, there's no favourites in this, because you haven't got a flipping clue. Orlando drew against Atlanta, which was very surprising. Then they beat New York Red Bull, and then they drew against Dallas. So these are games where they should be winning, and they're not, so that's not a very good sign for them. And as I said, New York got beat by New England, but they won their last 4 games after that, and they are in their last away game that they won was against Inter Miami, and then New England they drew. So saying that, they're coming up against a very good team, where I think Orlando probably may get this one, so I'm going to go for like a 3-1 to Orlando. They're just probably the better team, and they always seem to go better against teams that they really may struggle against, if that makes any sense. Next one is Toronto against New York Red Bull. Toronto are a strange team at the moment. They've won their last 5 games, which is very weird. When you think of the start of the season, even last season, they didn't look all that impressive, but they're doing very well. And then they're coming up against a New York Red Bulls team who, where are they? They won their last game, and that was against Atlanta. And then they got beat by Inter Miami and got beat by Orlando. So they're coming up against a Toronto team who I do think Toronto should win this one, and they are the bookie favourites at 10-11, so I do think they're going to win this one. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to them. They just are probably the better team in the league at the moment. They are top of the league, so you know these things don't lie. The next one is DC United against Philadelphia. I don't really need to look at the bookies. No, Philadelphia are the favourites in this one. DC United haven't won a game in a while. They've lost their manager. Philadelphia lost their last game away from home and drew one before that as well, so they're not looking all that sweet. But their last 2 games at home, they done alright, and then they got beat by Toronto away from home. So that was their, and then they drew against Cincinnati away from home, and then they beat Montreal. So their away form isn't all that exciting, but it's better than DC United at home. So I'm going to go for a Philadelphia win 2-0. Philadelphia probably are still my favourites. They're second in the league to win this thing, but I think Toronto may be a wee bit too far ahead now. So anyway, Houston Dynamo against Nashville. Houston Dynamo, who are favourites to win this one. Where are they? Houston Dynamo. They are 18th, and they won. They lost the last game against Inter Miami, which was a penalty, which was a bit of a dud one, and then they beat Dallas. But they're not really in a great form, whereas Nashville are probably just as bad. They got beat by Sporting Kansas City, but they drew their last games before that, which wasn't too bad, one of them being away. So against the Houston Dynamo this game, I'm going to go for a draw. I think it could be like a 1-1 draw. Houston still don't excite me going forward, as they sold their best player, as I keep saying, and they're coming up against the Nashville team who are dogged and probably score in the set play and probably get a good result from that. So I'm going to go for a 1-1. And the next one is Inter Miami against Atlanta, which should be a good one. I think Atlanta probably are the better team coming into this. Atlanta are very strange in the way they play at the moment. So coming into this game, it should be a tricky one for Atlanta. I do think Inter Miami actually could get a good result in this one. They're just probably in the odds, probably the favourites to win. I guess it's the first time ever Atlanta probably, well, not probably the first time, but anyway, I'm saying that Inter Miami should probably win this one. So I'll probably go for like a I'll probably go for a 2-1 win. Inter Miami is probably getting the better off Atlanta these days, so I'm gonna go for like a 2-1. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win. And the next one is Minnesota against Chicago. Minnesota actually are the favourites to win this one, which is not a bad one for Minnesota, who are playing against a team who are Chicago are 17th. Not long ago they were third from last, so well done to them. They're coming up against the Minnesota team who drew their last game against Nashville and then beat Cincinnati and then drew. They're not in great form either, but I do think they are probably the favourites coming into this one. I think they should have enough to win this game, so I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win against Chicago Fire. They probably are the favourites to win this game, so that's what I'm going to go for. The next one is FC Dallas against Sporting KC. FC Dallas, are a strange one. FC Dallas are always a team that always mess my predictions up. But they're coming up against the Sporting Kansas City team who always mess mine up. But Sporting Kansas City won their last 3 games. I think Sporting Kansas City are probably the better team in this one. I might go for like a 3-1 win. Sporting Kansas City. They do seem to score, and they have a very good record away from home, and they're coming up against a team who haven't really got a good record at home. So that's my predictions: 3-1. Real Salt Lake against Portland Timbers. I think Portland Timbers may have this one. They are slightly the favourites to win this game. If you're putting on a wee bet, Portland Timbers are not really, they have good odds, 7-4. So I'll go for Portland Timbers to win this one. They're doing very well. They won their last 5 games, which is pretty good. They beat San Jose in their last 2 away games and then they beat Seattle, which is pretty good, and then they stuffed San Jose after drawing against them. They played San Jose quite a lot. So saying that, they're coming up against Real Salt Lake in Real Salt Lake. See how I done that? Salt Lake City. I think Portland should win this one, so I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win to Portland. And the next one is Vancouver against Los Angeles FC. This is where a game I would say last season LA has it in the bag. I wouldn't have to really say much. And then LAFC, sorry, would just go out and basically hammer them 4-0. Not the case. And they won their last 2 games, which wasn't too bad for LAFC, but they're coming up against a Vancouver team who are very strange, and they won their last game against Real Salt Lake. Again, that's Real Salt Lake. LAFC are hugely the favourites, but I think I'm going to have a trickier game than this. I do think LAFC should probably win this one, but I'm going to go for like a 1-0 win. I don't think they're going to have it all their way, and they're going to be very struggle, but they're going to get 1 goal in it. So that's going to go for 1-0 to LAFC. And then the last one is LA Galaxy against the San Jose Quakes. That's actually going to be a weird one. I'm not sure who could actually get this game. LA Galaxy. LA Galaxy haven't won their last 4 at home, whereas San Jose probably won their last 1 of them away from home. So LA Galaxy are 3rd from bottom. They've lost all their games. The last game they did have a good result in was 0-0 against San Jose in San Jose. So saying that, I'm probably going to go for something similar. But I do think San Jose should actually win this game, so I might go for like a 1-0 to San Jose. They're probably they do like a Cal Classic, and they seem to do better in these games. So that is my predictions. Hope you enjoyed them. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. Twitter, follow, all that jazz. And I hope to see you on the next one, which is Friday or Saturday, one of the two. See you then.